Champions Cup Rugby back in action this weekend, folks. The best of the URC Top 14 and Premiership going head-to-head in several weeks of rugby glory. We will go through the favourites of this competition for the 2024-2025 season, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how things may begin to play out. I will be honest with you, the group stage of this competition does not thrill me with much joy. The group stage kind of sucks. It's nice to see some teams go head-to-head that you don't normally get to see play each other. That part I like. But the structure of the competition's a bit meh. You got 4 pools of 6, but not everybody plays everybody. And then you get to the knockout stage, which is actually genuinely quite interesting. But we got the group stage to kind of slog through first. We will see. There's certainly going to be some good matchups. I don't want to be too much of a negative Nelly. I've been watching the Champions Cup for a few years now. The old structure was a bit better where you had pools of 4 and everybody played everybody, but the current structure kind of is what it is. It's not my favourite, but yes, we'll go through the 24 teams, their odds, which have been kind of converted from a bookmaker's odds into probability. Take them with a good degree of caution because bookmakers aren't in the predictions game as much as they are in taking our sweet, sweet money game, but we'll go through them and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how fair or not you think they are. The teams which are given less than 1% of a chance. Benetton, the bottom ranked side with 0.2% chance. Castor, not much better. When I've seen them play in the Champions Cup before, they tend to be a side who fields a B team. They don't take the Champions Cup very seriously. Bristol, this is a side which is our first Premiership side. I think their Premiership season's going okay, but they're given 0.6. Ulster, generally a pretty strong side in the URC, also 0.6. Sale Sharks, the first of 2 Sharks in this game, in this competition, both given less than 1%, but Sale's odds are slightly worse than the other Sharks, 0.8. Exeter, Leicester. Leicester also 0.8. Exeter Chiefs, who were the last Premiership side and the last non-French side to win this competition. Fortunes have fallen a little bit since then. These guys are on 0.8. The Sharks, 0.9. And Clermont on also 0.9. So all those sides are not predicted to do a heck of a lot in this upcoming Champions Cup season. The teams who can get 1% but less than 2, that is the likes of the Stormers from South Africa. They've always kind of got the talent, but the form has been a little bit sketchy, to put it mildly. The team whose jersey I am wearing, Stade Francais, also won 1%, just like the Stormers. If nothing else, they always have memorable kit. There is Harlequins, who have a pretty fine kit in their own. If you want to see Marcus Smith playing, you'll be watching some of the Quins games. And then Racing 92. So Quins were 1.2 and Racing 1.8% chance for these guys. Racing made that final against Exeter Chiefs a few years ago, but that is quite a few years ago now. The recent Champions Cups have basically been dominated by 3 teams, being La Rochelle from France, Toulouse from France, and Leinster. They've made, in the last 4 years, it's been those 3 teams in some structure in the finals. But who are the other teams who are able to fetch more than 1%, but not a heck of a lot more? That is the likes of the reigning URC champions. That is Glasgow. They're given 2.2% chance, so well done Glasgow. You make it to my whiteboard. And Toulon, who's traditionally had those kind of superstar teams of the past. Recent years, fortunes haven't been quite as extravagant, but hey, at least they are on the whiteboard there. European rugby and Toulon seem to go pretty much hand in hand together. Then we've got Munster on 2.6, won the URC a couple of years ago. European glory days are still looking a wee way away in terms of they've a wee while ago in the past for the Munster lads. And then Bath, the reigning Premiership runners-up, if you can be a reigning runner-up. They're also having a pretty good run in the Premiership. They are first at the moment. They are given 2.9%. So all these teams, 2.9, 2.6, 2.2. In all likelihood, not predicted to do a heck of a lot, but as I said, at least they are on the whiteboard. The reigning champions from the Premiership, the Northampton Saints, 3.3% from them. And then the highest ranked of the Premiership teams is Sarries on 4.5%. It's going to be weird seeing Sarries go through a European campaign with no Owen Farrell. That is going to be a first for me as a viewer. Then we've got the top of our South African side. Jake White's Bulls are given a 5.1% chance. I feel like South African fans are still more invested in the URC thus far in this competition, but that's just me from a distance kind of getting the vibes. If you guys are South African fans, let me know. I feel like you guys have got your teeth into the meat of the URC more so than the Champions Cup at the moment. And I think it was the Bulls last year who kind of prioritized the URC run, but they still made the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup last year, which was better than any of the South African sides. Then we got Bordeaux, who are close to cracking 10% at 9.5%. So the Bulls 5.1, Bordeaux 9.5, having a pretty good run in the top 14. I think they are second at the moment. And then we get to the big three. The big three, as I mentioned, the sides who have been the finalists for the last 4 years in the Champions Cup. La Rochelle, slightly ahead of Bordeaux with just over 10%. Leinster, 3 times runner-up, double that with 20.3%. And then hard to look past Toulouse at the moment, but 26.4% for them. So if you wanted those in bookmakers odds, it's basically $2.88 or £2.88, €2.88, whatever currency you guys are using, £2.88. 2.88 if you're looking at decimal odds for Toulouse to win it, 3.75 for Leinster, 7.5 for La Rochelle, all the way down to 350 for Benetton Treviso at the bottom. So those are your Champions Cup odds, your predicted finalists or your predicted winners, most likely winners, put it that way. Toulouse, Leinster, La Rochelle in that order. The Bulls, the top of the South African sides. The Series lads, the top of the Premiership sides. And then there's also Munster and Glasgow also kind of representing the URC there as well. But you guys let us know your thoughts on how this one may be going to go when it gets underway this weekend. As I mentioned, group stage is not my favorite. I will be much more invested in the knockout stages when that comes around. But there still should be some plenty of good rugby action between now and then. You guys let us know your thoughts. Who are you backing as a potential dark horse for the Champions Cup in 2024-2025? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, folks. And yes, I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.